Welcome back to the Talkin Chop podcast, brought to you by the folks at Chief of Staff KC, your local trusted talent scouts making connections that matter. Right. Joining us this week is our great friend Andrew Tate with Kansas City Realty Services. Andrew, did you have a good Christmas?
A beautiful Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
All the holidays.
Good.
That's right.
Got any New Year's plans coming up?
Yeah, gonna get together with some friends. Nothing too crazy. Cool. You know, I'm 39, so I don't get too nuts anymore. But it'll be fun. 2020 is gonna be an awesome year.
There we go.
Good deal.
Love it. Well, yeah, we're back. I know that we COVID forced us to punt last week.
Been a bit, yeah.
But we're back for week 16. The Chiefs had two dominant victories since we've been gone with the Chargers and then the Steelers, and then we have a huge game coming up against the Bengals. Which, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that one of the biggest games of the year would be against the Bengals, I would have thought you're taking crazy pills.
That's
but
right.
yeah, but yeah, we'll get into all that coming up here shortly. But first, we're bringing you our position of the week, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC. Your local trusted talent scouts making connections that matter. We're a recruiting firm in Brookside, and we'll bring you the best accounting and finance, admin, marketing, HR, operations, and sales talent that Kansas City has to offer.
That's
Lucas,
right.
what do we got this week?
Well, all of these positions are going to run right into Q1 of 2022, and every company out there is looking to hire going into Q1. They have their new budgets, they have their new spending limits, and so even if these positions don't appeal to you, still reach out to us, as we have plenty of others that we don't see here in market. The one that I want to talk about, though, is with a nonprofit. They help underprivileged families and kids have health care, and so it's an accounting manager position, looking for about 5 to 7 years of experience, give or take. It's more of a wish list, but they just want to see more corporate accounting experience on the resume. Give me a shout on that one. It's pretty competitive pay for the nonprofit world. And then we have our sales division. They're kicking off like crazy. They have insurance sales positions. They have logistics sales positions. Inbound, kind of more account management type of sales roles where you're upselling on books. I mean, I don't even have time to name them all, but if you want to get into a new industry or a new sales role with competitive, base and commission type of structure, give us a shout.
Yeah. And, I know there's a lot of product placement around here, but
Just a couple.
The podcast is actually sponsored by Chief of Staff KC, believe it or not.
That's right.
We got, Rieger Distillery and Boulevard up there, but, shouts to our friends at State Your Line and Let Me Be Brief.
Yep.
But yeah, Lucas, take it away, man.
All right, Andrew. Well, appreciate you being on the show. You've done a little research on your own, right? So you kind of know how this probably plays out. Love to give you the mic, man. Share with our viewers kind of who you are, what you do, and kind of, how you maybe got started on that journey.
Right on. How much time do we have?
As long as you want. You have the mic.
Keep it quick. So Andrew Tate, Kansas City Realty Services, and I've only been in real estate not even a year and a half, and just made the switch from a brokerage to try and do more of my own thing and get more into larger multifamily deals, but also conversely, focus on the urban core. That was the whole reason I got into real estate, was to help people in the urban core buy their first home and then invest in their first home, because real estate is, there's not a lot of industries that people have the opportunity to create multi-generational wealth that they can in real estate.
That's right.
So I'm passionate about the community, and I'm learning a lot about real estate. And I've always wanted to have my own real estate portfolio.
Sure.
So that was kind of the impetus, is to be able to impact the community, learn how to do real estate investing myself, and come to find out you can impact the community and make a buck at the same time.
Yep.
Do well in business to do good in the community. But before that, my career, the majority of it was spent in sales, focused with CFOs and owners of companies, helping them lower operating costs. So I spent a good amount of time in like the solar industry, focusing on like energy audits and quick payback energy projects, things like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. What else do you need to know, guys?
No, that was just perfect. That was a good high level synopsis. I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah. Well, we asked a recurring recruiting question each episode. Since we're sponsored by Chief of Staff, and Casey likes to call us the conduits of culture. So we find that focusing on the culture fit is vital to a long-term successful placement. With our clients. So from your experience, kind of with your new company, and several sales roles in the past, like what do you value when it comes to culture?
Oh man, that's such a big question, and it's pretty flavor of the month right now, right? Culture. Everyone likes to talk about it. Every business likes to talk about it. And I feel like very few actually implement it. They got the core values on the wall, and here's our culture. The culture's top down. And man, I've seen it done really well, and I've seen it done really poorly. And top down from the ownership and leader of the company down. And so they can, have all these pretty things that they print out and distribute through the company. But if it's not in practice, people know it, man.
Yep.
You know, if it's just about the money or it's just about the profit or it's just about the growth, people aren't going to buy into it as much unless you're just being upfront about that, you know, but you can't sell a story of, you know, people first, customer first, impact the community first. And then on the back end, how it's all done is, you know, how's your performance review? What's the bottom line? You know, where's revenue? Way to hit your quota, 25% more next quarter, that kind of thing. So yeah, you got to practice what you preach, man. And talk is cheap. So you got to see it in action. That's why. So I think a great indicator for culture is turnover.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
if a place has high turnover, it's probably they're having issues with culture. And so, I mean, and it's okay. I mean, some businesses, it's not about that. It's not about the culture, and it's not about creating a great place for people to work and grow and stay for a long time, or impact the community, or warm and fuzzy stuff. But just be upfront about it.
Yep.
And I've seen some inconsistencies with that. You know, and that's all right. But anyways, yeah, it's a big damn question.
It's
guys.
it's a good piece of info. I mean, we see it all the time. It's a candidate-driven market right now, and so you hear that. Not every conversation, but at the forefront of a majority of them, you know, when it comes to culture and practicing what you preach and why they're leaving. Right?
Yeah.
And so, I love you sharing that because it aligns very
that retention piece
similarly to what we do every day.
Well, you can control it, right? Sometimes you can't control costs. Sometimes you can't control revenue because maybe the sales cycle's broken. But culture you can control top down. And so that's a way that you can create stickiness with your employees and make it a place where people can grow and, you know, stay for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what else? I mean, or you pay them more, you know, or you make it easier or whatever. But culture can be a way that maybe you can save a little bit on labor costs, save a little bit on some benefits. Like if you've got a culture where people feel like family, I mean, we spend a lot of time, right? We trade a lot of our time in our lives to go work, to make a buck, to put a roof over our head and food in the fridge. So if you can make it a place that people actually enjoy, it's huge.
Yep. Want to be happy while you're there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at like even an NFL example, you know, the Chiefs and the Hunt family, top down, and to Andy Reid, and then down to the players, you know, they make it a family-oriented atmosphere.
Absolutely.
They make it a place that people want to play and want to come to. But then you look at somewhere like Jacksonville with Urban Meyer and their ownership group not having their, you know, stuff together. It's a very toxic culture. That place is completely broken. You know, people are, you know, denying interview requests to be the head coach there now. So it 100%.
Companies, organizations, get your culture right. You know, it's important. As far as the next segment, we love to touch on just some quick hitter questions. First down, sack, Hail Mary.
Yes, all the sports puns.
That's right. First down will just be a small bit of success you've had recently that'll lead to further success.
All right, a first down. You know what? A great first down for me was, you know, changing brokerages when you're in real estate. It's starting over. You know, it's like recreating a new business. And I got a really quick hit first down. So we had a family reunion over Thanksgiving and ran into a cousin I hadn't seen in a while, and she needed to get a house.
Sure.
And so we haven't closed yet, but we're pretty clear to
Yeah.
close. So I was able to jump over to the new brokerage, get something under contract real quick.
Nice.
You know, that takes a little bit of the pressure off as I'm trying to rebuild my business and shift gears and focus somewhere else.
True
Absolutely. That's
First
awesome.
down.
What about a sack? And there's always a negative connotation with it.
baby.
So it could be a positive that came out of it, right? But something that initially set you back that you had to overcome.
Yeah. What is the quote? Nelson Mandela, I never lose. I win or I learn.
Yes, that's right.
Fail forward, you know, all these platitudes. But man, yeah, I've had plenty of humble pie in my career, in my life. So where do you need me to focus this sack? In my dating life? In my career? In my spiritual life? So I would tell you a big one. For me was like as I left my last brokerage and started the new one, you know, I wish it was a smoother transition. And then there's things I can see that I could have done better and probably should have tried to do it sooner. But there's a lot of lessons learned there, and the dust is settled, and I'm still working with some people over there and have a lot of great things cooking at the new spot. And so, you know, the biggest thing I'm working on right now is patience. And,
Constantly.
Oh man. And I am so impatient. I'm super emotional. I shoot from the hip and I like to move quickly, as you can tell by the pace of my speech. And maybe it's the Dr. Pepper. But anyways, so when my heart, my head, and my gut aren't in alignment, sometimes I just pick one and run with it. And I just need to be more patient and let that committee come together. So that's going to help me. That's the lesson I've learned and am continuing to learn and practice.
Awesome.
To make sure that, you know, that I don't get too emotional, I don't make quick decisions or hang around too long. You know what I mean?
Having the mentality of like, being a lifelong learner is like such an important mentality.
Absolutely.
So I love
curious
that.
mind, and how did it go wrong? How do I make sure that doesn't happen again? So it's a sack, but Patrick Mahomes does okay on 3rd and 15 after a sack.
Right. Or even Wise being sacked, he still somehow gets it out of the pocket
Exactly.
and out there. So what about a Hail Mary?
Hail Mary. Now, okay.
Big lofty goal.
Big lofty goal
Next
for
year.
2022.
Got it.
So I actually was just doing some goal planning today. This is a week, right, in between Christmas and
Yep,
New Year's, where
that's
everyone's
right.
kind of
Good
planning
time.
and being strategic. I've got a revenue goal specifically for real estate agent things. Now, I'm trying to get away from real estate agent things because I want to do real estate investing things. But my big lofty goal for real estate agent things is just $6 million in revenue. That's I did $9 million this year, almost $9 million, and so only 6 next year. But I that's in conjunction with trying to start a business too. A flipping business,
Absolutely.
helping investors find off-market properties,
Yeah.
manage the projects for them, kind of doing the general contracting and then sharing in the profits after we sell, or they buy and hold. And I can help them find property management. So the $6 million in revenue on the real estate agent side, building that, getting a couple flips of my own for investors done this year. And I don't know if that's 2 or 4, or maybe it's just 1, but having that. And so, this week has been like process procedures. What do those buckets look like in the funnels, and like, how do we get to revenue and all this stuff? So all of that, boys, and balancing my work-life balance, being a great dad and carving out time for myself. Like, if I've done all that, Hail Mary, touchdown,
There you
Chiefs
go.
win.
That's
That's
a great
right.
year.
No, that's
Great
Super
year.
Bowl, second Super Bowl for Mahomes.
That's right. That's a hell of a goal for you. So I appreciate you sharing all those, and
man.
I wish you well in all that.
Thank you.
Well, enough talking shop. Let's get into the chop.
That's
We weren't here last weekend, so we'll quickly touch on that Chargers game.
Yes.
What an ending, right?
Freaking roller coaster.
I was out hunting.
I couldn't sleep.
I lose, yeah, and that was a night game, right? So
Yeah.
that's always a really rough morning the next day.
Yeah.
But man, these close games, I just want to blow out so I can relax and enjoy
Yeah.
it and be like, haha, Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, you kind of got that with the Steelers game last weekend.
Oh,
there you
no
go.
doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, only slightly.
I was saying to a lot of people, I love the fact that the Chargers game went down to the wire. I think truly it was the best regular season game maybe in the last 3 years, maybe 5 years. I'd have to go back and rack my memory and look at some of those earlier games.
Wow.
But I truly believe that. It was so good being on that side of the coin toss, when we've been on the other side where Brady gets the ball and we don't
You
have
got to
any
do something
chance,
about
so.
the NFL overtime rules, man. That's not okay.
Hey, we'll take it, though.
We'll
We'll
take
take
it
that
that
one.
time, but man, I don't like the coin toss. But I am definitely loving the rivalry brewing between Herbert and Mahomes. Like, it's gonna be awesome.
I don't think the comparisons are fair yet. I think Herbert's got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
Same way with Burrow. We'll get into that in a minute.
Sure.
But what a win. Travis Kelce just put the team on his back.
That was wild.
And that
Yeah,
was
that
such
last
a great
run.
run. But this Steelers game this past weekend too. Talk about putting the hammer down. Jeez. In the spirit of Andy Reid, we always give our guests the first take on recapping each game. So what were your thoughts on that? The
Steelers.
Game?
Oh
Yeah.
man, not a great season for Ben Roethlisberger to end on. What, they're 7-6-1 now or something. Man, we beat the hell out of them. It was great.
Yes, we did.
Felt good.
Yes.
And on all facets of the ball, we were killing it. Offense, defense, special teams. So I'm more excited for the Bengals game to see, this is a true challenge. The Steelers, I was maybe a little worried, like they could be a spoiler, but you just got to love it. Even without Kelsey, but we still had Tyreek, but he didn't play all the downs.
Yeah.
And we got it done. Got it done without him. Yeah. And I feel like there's been times where we've got everyone out there and we weren't getting it done at the beginning of the year, but things are clicking at the right time of the year, and that feels good because the first month and a half of the season or whatever, like, it was rough.
Yep.
There were a lot of good components to that most recent game, but to keep it short and sweet, Mr. Pringle, my gosh, that dude is
he's a wildcat, right?
Yeah,
He's a K-State guy.
He's kind of always, that's right. He's always had like the talent, I feel like, but just someone's always been in front of him. And so for him to get his name called and then drop 2 touchdowns and have a plethora of catches, you love to see it, and hopefully he can continue to be a viable part of this offense moving forward.
Yeah, he's still battling a drop or two every once in a while, but I think that's a good confidence game, right? That the
Absolutely.
2 touchdown games, like those are reserved for Kelsey and Hill only. Right?
Well, and now the Bengals can't sleep on him, right?
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But a highlight for me was that freaking run by Clyde, and he just bounced off those guys, and that was so much energy. Like from the start, we knew it was going to be.
Was that the hit
down.
that caused the
No,
bruise?
no, it wasn't. He
Okay.
still played the rest of the game, but MRI came back negative. X-ray came back
good.
negative on the collarbone, so he should be back. I bet we shut him down, but he'll be back for playoffs, so we should be good there. But yeah, I mean, again, we got another huge game coming up against the Bengals here. What are your thoughts on Joey B and the boys?
Joey B, he's a hard guy to hate. He's kind of a cool guy.
I know.
He's got a
He's
good
a
sense
cool
of
dude.
humor. He does a lot of stuff in the community and stuff. He's going to
Yeah.
be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But not this weekend.
That's right.
He won't be. I don't think he's going to have that great of a game. I think some of the games, like what he just had this, what was
They
it,
scored like
4
41
touchdowns,
points or
500 yards, or
something.
something
Yeah.
stupid,
Yeah.
but it was against a depleted Ravens.
Right.
Yes.
So he's good, borderline great, but I think a lot of their big games have been against mediocre teams. And we were talking about that earlier. Like the Jets beat this team, the
Yeah.
Browns beat this team, the Chargers beat the hell out of this team. So on paper at first I was like, oh man, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be on this podcast. I better bone up on my stuff. And I'm starting to look at the Bengals
Yeah.
record, and I'm like, the teams they've won and lost against, I'm not too worried about it.
Right.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be a true test because they do have a high-powered offense. I'm not 100% sure what their defense looks like, but we're going to shut down that offense.
Oh yeah. Recency bias in the NFL is so dominant, right?
True
You just
that.
hear those talking heads of like what happened the week prior. You did your due diligence and you quickly realized we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
We're going to be a-okay. I think they'll be able to put some points up on us, but I don't think Joe Burrow is going to be comfortable at all. I think Chris Jones is going to be in his face. I think Melvin Ingram and Frank Clark, they're going to get out there and just swarm the waters. And so, honestly, I don't see them putting up more than 17. I think they only get 17 on us.
I like it.
And I'll get my prediction in a minute. I think we're going to be in the 30s. So
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, to me, I agree. I mean, their defense got revamped. They made some really good signings. That guy from New Orleans, I forget his name, that defensive end who leads one of the league in sacks. He's really, really solid.
I can't think of it
So
either.
their young core, I think they have Mixon, Burrow, Higgins, and Jamar Chase all on offense, all under 25.
And that
then
Tyler
their
Boyd guy, too.
Boyd, and then Uzoma is an up and coming tight end as well. So I mean, they got the talent, but I just don't think they're there yet in terms of being able to make this a game, in my opinion. I saw there's an ESPN segment actually that they do quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, and coaching, and they rank everyone and they pick who has the advantage, and everyone picked Burrow as the advantage.
Keep
in the game.
doing it,
And again,
please.
I absolutely love it. I mean, you don't like Burrow even said, the defensive coordinator from the Ravens was like, let's not give him a gold jacket yet. And he used that as bulletin board material in his post-game press conference. They asked if that was on his mind. He's like, yeah, maybe. Kind of a testament to the funniness of him and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fair to even make that comparison yet. I mean, Herbert's not even there yet, and he's had more demonstrated success, I think. But in my opinion, everyone was thinking it's going to be, Lamar Mahomes or Herbert Mahomes or Allen Mahomes. I think it might be Burrow Mahomes as the next Manning-Brady type rivalry that we see in the AFC, 5-10 years down the line. So I think he's got a really bright future with that talent around him. But come on, you're not going to get it done this year.
Not yet.
Yeah.
That'd be good for Cincinnati. They haven't had a championship in a very long time
Yeah.
and anything. And yeah, it's an exciting time in the NFL, man. There's a lot of great young talent,
Yeah.
a lot of interesting quarterbacks. Especially
Why is it all in the AFC, though? All the
It's
young
weird.
quarterbacks are in the
That's
AFC.
okay. It ebbs and
Sucks.
flows.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Well, yeah, let's get into score predictions. What are you feeling?
Man, I'm not going to be as conservative on the score for them as you guys,
Sure.
but I think maybe like 21-30 Chiefs.
Okay.
I think, and I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think maybe there's a junk touchdown, or maybe even
Go
24, a junk touchdown or
Sure.
a field goal in there, and then we're kind of like resting guys in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
Okay.
I like that. 34-17 Chiefs.
Oh man, I like that. I'm gonna go 38-24.
Nice.
38-24. I think it'll be pretty high scoring. I bet the over smacks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as good as our defense has been playing, we're gonna put up points eventually, and I think this might be one of those games. But Justin, what are you thinking? Put you on the spot.
I'll go Super Bowl score,
31-21
Okay.
Super Bowl score. I like
Shout
it.
out Justin helping us out this week.
Yeah.
Tucker, hope you're doing well, man. I know I think you're taking some PTO,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
enjoy it.
Appreciate it, man.
One more question for you guys,
Yeah.
though, because John Madden passed away this week.
That's right. Rest in
And,
peace, John.
Yeah, man. I mean, fond memories of hearing him call games, and everyone loves, the Madden video game. I was curious if you guys had any Madden moment memories, like maybe your favorite edition of Madden or favorite player in a Madden game.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Something like that, because mine is going to be Michael Vick.
Yeah, I mean,
circa
how can you not?
99 or something, where he was just you couldn't play as him.
Yeah,
you're playing Madden with your buddies.
Madden
it's like, well, you
04.
can't.
It was 04.
Yeah, you can't play as Michael Vick because it's a cheat code. It runs every time. Play triple option down the sideline.
We used to do this thing in my family called Suicide Madden, where we would throw every team on a piece of paper into a hat. And so it was randomized, and you had to pick it out, and that's the team you had to play with. The only team we didn't put in there was the Michael Vick Falcons when he was there. My moment, though, for Madden would be 03. It was on the GameCube. It was the 2003 version of Madden. It was the very first one I played. The Rams, Marshall Faulk, I think, was on the cover. And just something about the way that game played as a kid was my John Madden moment for sure.
That was great. Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce.
That's right. Yeah. It was a good.
I guess, I mean, 04 Madden, you can't beat that. That's exactly where my mind goes immediately. But if I had to pick something else, I used to love playing with Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez, Priest Holmes, that year of Chiefs, and like the greatest show on turf as well with the Rams. Like those two teams were always so much fun to play with for me. But that would be
rest in peace, Sean Madden. He will be missed in memories forever for sure. So, let's wrap it up and then let's get to watching some football this week.
Yeah, well, that does it for week 16 of Talkin' Shop. I think it's 16. I don't know, we were gone, so I'm pretty sure it's 16. But again, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to follow us along all season as we interview some of Kansas City's top execs and personalities. Andrew, thanks again for filling in and being with us. It was a great episode. Great time catching up with you.
Thank you, boys. This was fun.
Yeah,
it's a blast.
All right, well, we'll catch you all next week. And as always,
go Chiefs.